we're going to revise the forecast relative to the last April by a bit. The main effect really comes from the slowdown in emerging market economies, but we also are revising down the euro area forecast, and actually to some extent, but more or less reflects the first quarter, the US economy. If, for example, growth in BRICS was to go down by 2% relative to what we predict, then the effect on the US, for example, would be 0.5%. So it matters. You have to distinguish between the core countries and the periphery countries. In the core country, there is some progress, some structural reforms. Fiscal consolidation is very strong. In France, for example, it will be less in the future, so this is going to help. Banks are not in great shape, but in decent shape. So I think that we're going to move from negative growth this year to positive growth next year. In the periphery countries, the adjustment is very tough. So we're seeing some adjustments in competitiveness, which is what they need to do. So exports are doing relatively well, but internal demand is very weak. The interest rates are still very high. So at this stage, the turnaround is still not now, and we don't know exactly when it will be. If we see an increase in interest rates, it means that growth is stronger in the US, and that's good for all the countries in the world. It increases their exports, it helps other countries. Now, this being said, the adjustment in interest rates is going to have some effects. It's going to make US bonds more attractive, right? So you're going to get some of the flows which went to emerging market countries are going to come back to the US. This may mean depreciation in a number of countries. It may mean capital outflows. As we've learned from the last few weeks, this may not be a completely smooth process. So along the way, you may have quite a bit of volatility. But on net, the bottom line remains the same, which is it's good news for the world.